All right, here we go for the Michigan Speedway. It is race number 6 of TI's Truck Series, presented by Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. As we get ready from the Irish Hills virtually on iRacing, it is again race number 6 of the season as we welcome you in. Of course, I'm the captain. Getting ready for some good racing here in the trucks in Michigan. Going to be a lot of drafting, a lot of passing, a lot of good racing here, hopefully. And, some pit stops also going to be taking place here tonight as per usual TI standards. So looking forward to that coming up and more. Right now, let's show you the point standings as we go into tonight's race. Stephen Miles leads by 15 over Casey Carrington. Chris Lewis there in third. Nick Leo, Kyle Ethier, your top 5. Logan Hamilton, who's not here, is 6th. Or tied for 5th, I should say. Craig Martin's right there. Brandon Alphin, Jake Vanowski, Zach Mertez. Alphin not here tonight either. So your top 2 from the Watkins Glen race not here tonight, it appears. So as Truck Series qualifying just wrapped up, let's take a look as the Trucks grid at the starting lineup. As Casey Carrington takes the pole, 39.932 second lap. He'll start alongside Ryan Whitaker in the 51 truck. Rick Ward, great qualifying spot there for the Michigan driver alongside David Feit there, row number 2. Row 3, Dallas Childers with a good qualifying run alongside Chris Dean. Kyle Ethier, Chris Lewis, row 4. Nick Leo, Stephen Miles in row number 5. Row 6 sees Stephen Wolfram and Craig Martin. The 6th row sees Nick Leo, Stephen Miles, Stephen Wolfram, Craig Martin. There in row 6, as I said, Melnick and Clement Downing. Row 7, Zach Mertez and Jake Vanowski in the 8th row of the 16 trucks that will take the green flag here as the pace car will pull away here in just about 40 seconds or so as we get ready. Of course, this track built back in the 1960s. Roger Penske actually helped build this track. And it has turned into a favorite, of course, right in the backyard of a lot of the car dealerships' hubs. Chevrolet, of course, you know, they got the big Chevy building there in Detroit. And, of course, Ford looks at this as a big-time home and more. So it's always big to get yourself a win here on this 2-mile track that has seen everything from stock car racing to open-wheel racing and more. Out there off of Highway 12, I believe it is, in the town of Brooklyn. As the trucks will pull away. Yeah, let's talk to Case. Casey's been in a... You know what? I've just noticed Brandon Alphin has joined and will start 17th in the race. Nothing like a last-minute show up there by Brandon Alphin. Apparently got stuck in traffic. As he's here, and Casey Carrington, the enthusiastic one, starting on the pole tonight. And Stephen Wolfram apparently doesn't go, and that's going to create a little bit of a checkup. But
I was trying to go as soon as the pace car did. My engine died on me. So.
Oh no, that's 2 people apparently.
It's so used to saving fuel from Tuesday night that it's getting a head start.
Hey, obviously Michigan a fast track here, and I'm not necessarily sure you want to be the leader of this race at all, really, until the final lap. But what are we expecting tonight?
Probably pack race. Probably not going to get a bonus point for a 0x. Probably going to get screwed over by a weight race caution or taken out in a wreck. And, yeah, I don't know.
Did I mention you're enthusiastic?
Shout out to everybody watching. I saw there was like 5 or 6 viewers. I'm sure not all of them are drivers. Yeah, I'm sure not all of them are drivers, so.
Now you never know. I love it.
But, yeah, we're wide open here, and we're actually getting better fuel mileage than we did in the Gen 4 Tuesday, so go figure.
Which would be expected. A lot of drag in the car and or in the truck and so much. And
what are the restart rules? Can I go, or do I have to
you can go
wait?
once the pace car pulls off. I was about to.
If you want to ride on board here in the first lap,
yeah, we'll watch you for a second here. Why not? I was just hoping the field would catch up. I was a little worried about someone.
Rolling. We're going.
All right, there he goes. Green flag from where the hell are we? Michigan.
Hey, go find that prehistoric
forest
park or whatever.
Yeah, good call on that.
I want to save that for caution number 5.
Yeah,
but
yeah, wow. You give me a headache. All right, green flag's out. Cameras Night presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And did I miss anything? I know Brandon Alphen got pretty much a wide open start on that race. I was tempted to hold off on the start, but could have been a little worse, I guess. As lap 1 goes to Carrington, he said he might not get the bonus point for something, but there he goes. He gets that one. 80 laps tonight, by the way. Didn't get a chance to show the race information. And you see the truck sliding up around 3 wide back here with Lewis. Almost gets in the back of Christopher Dean. Also David Feit there. As Stephen Wolfram finally joins after having some issues with something. Here's our race information, by the way, tonight. 82 degrees, 60% humidity. It's actually warming up because of the 4X time. It is somewhere around noon right now. I'll get that up here in a second, as obviously we should finish this race before it gets dark. 3 sets of tires, 35% fuel, so I'm guessing somewhere probably 13, 14, 15 laps on fuel tonight. So we'll have to see when it's all said and done. Again, all about the draft here. Saving fuel, running in the draft. Carrington leading Lewis right now. Lewis is actually going to go to the lead here. Ryan Whitaker there behind him. Almost some door banging going on. Oh, Lewis is pushing Whitaker up the track there. Forgot the turn almost. That could have been bad. There goes Ethier to the inside. And that 6 truck. Christopher Dean back there in the miscolored number 48 Lowe's truck. Rick Ward's falling back to 7th there with Nick Leo, Zach Mertes, Stephen Miles hanging out there in 10th. Oh, and loose goes, I think that was the 51 of Whitaker. Good save on his part. Going to lose a whole lot of momentum there. Oh, and there goes Ethier for the infield almost. These trucks are going to get looser. Hey, he might have had some help, it sounds like, from Dean. He said, my bad. A hell of a save. Let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah, he tagged him in the rear there a little bit. Nice save on the 6's part. Dean did come across the radio, said, my bad. So top 13 trucks hanging on to the draft back there. Dallas Childers the last one in line. Melnick and Downing have lost the pack here. And then Vinovsky is way back. And Stephen Wolfram, I believe, is on track. He's 1 lap down in the 17th position. Nick Leo started 9th up to the 6th position there. And here comes Miles to the inside of Rick Ward. Going to bring Alphen with him. Craig Martin there behind him into 55. Already 7 laps complete. As Whitaker and Dean side by side. David Feit also right there in the 15 truck. Nick Leo, Zach Mertes there in the 0-2. Mertes going down to the bottom here. That's a dangerous move. Oh, Dean almost gets hit by Leo as they stick it in there 3 wide. Nice job by Dean to be aware there of what was going on. Lewis has been out there just pushing Carrington, trying to get him out to the biggest lead possible. Believe it or not, I actually saw another league a couple seasons ago actually have a race like this where 2 teammates did exactly what Lewis and Carrington were doing right now, and they literally drove away from the field and won the race. I don't know if Lewis is having a memory of that or if he's just trying to save fuel behind that 4, but as you see, they're getting out there a pretty decent amount, 0.3 of a second. Lewis gonna look like break a little free there behind Carrington. I'm sure he didn't mean to do that, but that was you. I was trying to remember who it was. I know it was Alex Cummings and Bondurant? I couldn't remember the other truck, but Lewis is going to go to the lead here, so forget what I just said. Apparently he's not listening. And he leads that lap. Yeah. What's up, Alex? Ooh, Lewis getting tight leading on Whitaker. Yikes. See what happens? They made that move and everybody came back together again. And Whitaker go to the front. All right, here comes your pit stops, I think. Yep, Brandon Alphin, Stephen Miles coming in right now, 12 laps in. So, knowing that it's 12, 13 laps on fuel, that means, let's see, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. That would be 6 stops, potentially, in this race. And yikes! If you can run a 13th lap, you might be able to do this in 5 stops. And I think the whole field might be coming to pit road here. This ought to be good. I hear people hitting the bro. Craig Martin, look out. He did not hit the wall. Nice job on Craig's part. That's what you get, 35% fuel. Everybody in probably going to be fuel only with 3 sets of tires. Let's look for the tandem of Alphin and Miles here in a second. There they come off turn 4 right now as these cars get up to speed. Or trucks. There's Vinosky taking the lead. We got trucks in the grass. This is not how you do this. Thanks for reminding me to turn my paints off. I had to fix that real quick. That was actually entertaining to watch off pit road. Miles with the momentum, going to jump to the bottom here as these guys get up to speed. They all came in as a pack. They all left as a pack. All but David Fight, who unfortunately is a lap down. He must have had a speeding penalty or something. Yes, he did. 49 seconds. That's a speeding penalty where I'm from. Tough break for the 15 truck. If he gets a caution, here comes Alphin. Barely made the start of the race on time. Oh, Carrington and Mertes leaning on each other here. As Vinovsky leaves the pits, so he'll join back in, way back, maybe even lose a lap here potentially as Wolfram comes to pit road now, as 15 laps in to this 80-lap race. So Casey Carrington, Ryan Whitaker, these guys fighting hard, racing hard, good racing too at that. Dean joined in the battle. Nick Leo joined in the battle. Brandon Alphin up there at the top side. Lewis is in here. Miles is in here. Craig Martin's joining in. And then back there at the edge of the battle is Kyle Ethier, who's just hanging out like, guys, some popcorn? Lap 17 of the Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Truck Series here from Michigan. Oh, Dean and Whitaker. Whitaker with another save. I didn't expect drafting like this tonight. This is pretty wild. Alphin up to second there, following Dean, going to cut to the bottom here, but this is just 20 laps in. Still got another pit stop probably to come at lap, but 12, 24-ish, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in that range. And you'll think that these guys will probably take their first of 3 sets of tires. I mean, this is mayhem right here. That pink car in the background, that's David Feit, unfortunately, a lap down. He's waiting to hopefully get a yellow here somewhere in this race. And then you got Stephen Melnick, who's back here at 11th. He's running by himself. Dallas Childers back here with Rick Ward. And then Clement Downing is 14th. And then Vinovsky is trying to run away from the pack. Oh, Dean into the wall. As these trucks are just migrating up to the top now. With the worn out tires, Miles going to go to the front. As you see with the time flying through, track temp up to 95 degrees now. So it's going to get slicker and slicker as we go. As Miles does clear for the lead. Four wide off 2. We still good? I saw Whitaker get the wall again. Looks like a lot of trucks now starting to do a late apex into the corner with the tires maybe wearing out. Oh, more contact. More trucks hitting each other. I'm over here multitasking. I think I just heard somebody call he's coming to pit road. Meanwhile, that's some of the wildest 20 laps of racing I've seen at Michigan yet on iRacing. I've been on here for 13 years almost. As Alfin and Miles going to come to pit road. Carrington coming with them. They're aborting mission. They're out of that pack. More tires and fuel for these guys. Let's put the map up and let you see what the leaders are coming off of 4 right now. These guys actually staying on the lead lap, it looks like here. So good job on their parts to get tires and fuel and get out. As Dean and Ethier come to pit road. Clement Downing coming in. More tires and fuel, and there they go. And here comes the Hounds back there behind them. Martin with a much smoother job getting on the pit road. As everybody pulls away, and you see the pack coming past right now. Stephen Miles going to go to the leads with Carrington and those guys right here. That's just the fresher tires by about a lap. That's going to break this field apart. That's what it's going to end up doing here. So Stephen Miles, Casey Carrington, Brandon Alfin lead. And it's a 3.5 second advantage now from Brandon Alfin back to Kyle Ethier, who pitted a lap later. He, Christopher Dean, Zach Mertez, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then you got about a second back to Nick Leo, who's got Lewis in tow. So as I said, these pit stops pretty much broke everything apart. It's going to turn this into a kind of a super speedway race now. Everybody's going to kind of draft and try to work their way back up together. I'm going to be kind of curious to see if that works. What they need to do, Alex, and if Alex is still watching here, he'll know what I'm talking about. They need to run 2 different lines in the corners, but then get single file with each other down the straightaways so that nobody gets dirty air. Because then you can pretty much stay wide open, but then just get right back behind each other and push. Probably want the second guy to be actually higher up the track so he gets to run down the straightaway and is able to push. Easier said than done. As up front, here's the three of them battling for the lead as Alfin's going to go to the front now. As lap 29 already completed here in Michigan. Alfin trying to break the little bit of the draft there from Carrington. You see Miles trying to help Casey get back up there because they know if they get side by side, it's just going to break up this pack. Kyle Ethier 3 seconds back still right now, has Lewis by about a second. And the more and more they go here, it seems like they are kind of coming back together a little bit here, these packs are. Surprised you didn't see Alfin, Miles, and Carrington maybe work together with each other here, but seems to be working because they're getting away from Ethier. But at the same time, Lewis, Mertes, Leo, Dean, those guys are all catching the leaders here. You can just hear him a little roll out of the throttle, and you're right back to it. Let's watch the speeds down the straightaway here. Under 87 miles an hour down to turn 1. And Ether getting a little loose, got in a little shallow there into the corner. That didn't help things. You see Martin's been pushed by Leo up to the front. And then Dean's trying to get up there with the lap car of Vanoski. But again, going to see pit stops probably in the next 3 to 4 laps. So 35 laps complete this time by. And what has been a pretty good race so far. Good wild race here. Yeah, the pit stops have come in. As a matter of fact, Alfin and Miles all coming together here. They hang Carrington out to dry a little bit. Alfin has that first pit stall there. Fuel only for those two trucks, it looks like. as Carrington will come here at 36. So if anybody can get to lap 40 here, that would be interesting to see. And I say that because, you know, we've had 2 stops. And you got the 4 who slides past his pit stall. The 4 to 1, or the 7 to 4 and the 21 pitted at 12:24:36. So 3 stops. If anybody can get to 40, it's a 2-stopper, which would shorten you 1 stop, and then you just do what you did again for the last 40 laps. You might be able to do this in 1 last stop and win this race. Just throwing it out there. So Mertez on pit road, Lewis, Leo, Whitaker all coming in. I don't think anybody can make it to 40, though. So I'm just hypothetically thinking. As there goes Alphin and Miles. Unfortunately, Carrington sliding through his pit stall hurt him badly, and he's going to be back with Ethier now in these pack of trucks. So basically now you're going to have 2 trucks working with each other here. And then the rest of the field about 4 seconds back. And the one thing they can do is Carrington's already starting. Get down there and draft and try to push and let these 4 trucks work together potentially to get up there. The only issue you have is you do have 2 other TI trucks that are those bottom 2 right there, Lewis and Mertez. And, I mean, they're likely thinking like this, but you never know. But if anything, they're going to try to hold back those 2 trucks from getting up 2 miles in Alphin. How do you do that? Well, you can try to slow up a little bit and keep the pack from being organized. That's one way to do it. As Lewis gets loose and saves the truck. As we come to the halfway point next time by. And what has been an all-green flag race here so far. There's your top 2, Alphin and Miles through turn 1 and 2. And then you got the second pack of trucks. Now Ether getting a little free down there at the bottom. Here comes Carrington topside. They're trying to get lined up with Mertez there, with Craig Martin and Nick Leo, as Lewis is kind of falling off the pack here. I mean, the only thing these guys have against them right now is the fact that it is now 97 degrees track temp-wise, which is about 20 degrees warmer than what it was at the start of the race. So obviously this track is not as grippy as it was at the beginning. All right, let's take you through the field and show you where everybody is right now on the track. You can kind of see it on the map, but just to point them out, there's Brandon Alphin leading this race as he crosses the start-finish line. He barely made the start of this race a little bit ago as he leads his teammate there, Stephen Miles. And then right behind him, about 4.5 seconds, is these line of 5 right here with Casey Carrington, Kyle Ethier, Zach Mertez, Nick Leo. Those 5 right there in the line as Leo gets a little free. And then behind them, you have the lap truck of Jake Vanoski, who's got Chris Lewis in tow in the 7th position. And then back here in 8th and 9th, Christopher Dean, who has some damage on the right side of his truck. He's had some contact with a couple others out there tonight. And then Whitaker's had the same in that 51 truck. You can see a little bit of the left rear damage there. Stephen Melnick runs in the 10th position. Melnick there, 22 seconds back. Dallas Childers in the 11th position in the 10 truck. He's about 29 seconds back. Rick Ward, the Michigan native here, 12th position here, 37 seconds back. He'll be the next one to get lapped once the pack is able to get to him. Craig Martin, 13th position. Unfortunately, a lap down. He's in that pack with Leo and blinking out. For Craig, not sure if he had a speeding penalty or something that killed him time-wise. Jake Fanoski, 14th position there for that Black Rifle Coffee car truck. David Fite had a penalty a little bit ago. He's just been sitting here waiting on a caution. In the 15th position. Clement Downing in the 16th position. And then, unfortunately, he missed the start of this race, so that's kind of kept him in a hole. And he's 4 laps down, running in a Ditech.com paint scheme, which is an old Kyle Busch paint scheme from back in the heyday. That is Stephen Wolfram. All right, the lead has come down a little bit with Carrington to Miles. It's 3.8 now. Mertez trying to relay some talk to Carrington to them. They're saying that the top line is actually starting to come alive. So let's see what they can do and knock some time down here potentially. And so let's see. Mertez thinks it's beneficial to be up here. So let's see what happens here. Let's put the lap times up on the board here, and let's see how accurate that call is. I mean, that time by Ether, 41.16. Everybody's pretty much on top of each other time-wise. I mean, it looks like that's what I was waiting on. Ether gets free. Carrington about that. That dude's awesome. His sarcasm is quite like mine. I think that's why we get along so well. They're still a little bit faster than Alphin and Miles that lap. 29 to a 37 for Casey. 32 for Mertez, and then obviously Ether was slower because he got loose. Casey's like, I'm going back to the bottom. Now, Mertez could go up top there to probably help him, being that second truck in line, but he's pretty much going to follow them as here come the leaders back to pit road. 3 of the top 4. So you'll take your second set of tires here. I was at 48, ran on 12, which gets you to 60, which gets you to 72. So you still got one more set of tires to get you. You know what? I am tempted right now, if I am not one of the leaders, I'm going fuel only again right here. And I say that because you still have 2 more stops left. Use the tires at the next set. And you'll have fresh tires the rest of the way on the leaders. As Carrington and Leo, Mertez come in. Leo goes to the lead. Carrington about overshot his pit stall again. He's taking tires. Pretty much looks like everybody going with tires here. As Mertez and Carrington drag race to turn 1. That's what it looked like from here. From that camera angle. As Lewis comes to pit road, lap 50. So, of course, we've been talking a little bit behind the scenes, Chris and I have. I've been trying to help the man run the series a little bit, and there's going to be a lot more work being done here, especially as we get into the off season. I know obviously the fields have kind of taken a hit. There's been a lot of negative talk, so to say, in the last few seasons, and that kind of thing. Of course, I raced and had my own negativity and stuff, but obviously it's a fun league to be a part of if obviously we get people that want to race and stuff in here. So if you're interested, let me know. And it's free to race. It's fixed setups, 8 races a season. But I'm actually going to be even doing more here in the near future in the series. So I'm looking forward to see whatever I can do to help Chris Lewis, who's a busy man himself and unfortunately is a man that's taken a little bit of a beating, so to say, from some people. And, you know, he's heard my share, too, of things, and I've shared my opinions about things. I mean, there's been some decision-making that has been questionable. I'll put it out there. And that kind of thing. And him and I have talked about it, and hopefully have a solution to the problem here in the near future. Well, we're going to look to get some more recruiting done and get the fields back bigger. Now, this truck series we're actually going to push aside for next season and go straight Gen 4 cars. And try to build the number back up with some fantastic racing like you've seen tonight here. 52 laps in, no caution so far. And Alfin leading right now over Miles, and they've got 5.5 seconds now over Casey Carrington and Mertez and Ethier. And the one thing that they're doing different each other pit stop is they are getting that lap earlier on the pit road and then getting the tires on so that they're able to run wide open around the track for an extra lap. And that's what opens the advantage up. You got the Chris and Chris show back here at the 7th position as Dean lets Lewis go through. There's Devin Ramsey. There's this would be a good one for you to join, you and the new guys over there. You see Dean out there rolling, Alfin and Miles doing their thing, Carrington out here. Ryan Whitaker had a good start to the race. Unfortunately, he's fallen back. Maybe a little bit of truck damage and some maybe pit strategies, of course, biting him a little bit. And he's fallen back to the 9th position. He's got Stephen Melnick actually there behind him, giving him a little push. Melnick, the Georgia native. One of my, so to say, former neighbors now. Up here, Casey still leading Zach Mertez. Kyle Ethier trying to hold on to the draft as they pass Clement Downing. Clement giving the top side to let those guys go by. Alfin obviously going to get the bonus point for leading the most laps here, but the question is, what does Miles have up his sleeve? Does Miles want to settle for second? Now, in races where there's something on the line, for instance, if Alfin had something he needed to do to get a win and Miles was okay where he was, he would absolutely finish second. In this race, though, there's really nothing to gain for either of them. So I have a feeling Miles might make a move here in the final lap, try to win this race over Alfin. But we shall see. You still got to make it through the last 2 pit stops here as we're coming up to 60, which will be the next stop. Everybody pretty much took tires except for Christopher Dean, it looks like. That's on the lead lap. So if I'm Dean, get tires now. Then, like I said, you have 20 laps of fresh tires to work with compared to these guys running on older tires. Sometimes if you're going to, as Larry McReynolds likes to say during the broadcast, if you're going to follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader the whole time. So do something different. Be afraid to go outside the box. Sometimes you'll look good doing it. Sometimes you don't. It's the way it goes. More times you won't. Let's put it like that. So I would expect 21 and a 7 to come next time by. And knowing the way these guys think, I have a little connection to them. They will pit next time by, and they will probably split the run in half and go to lap 70 and come right back to pit road and get fuel. As Miles, oh, I thought he was going to get a run on the top side and off in there. And here they come. Carrington, Ethier, all coming with him down to pit road here. And Mertes got hung out. And fuel only for the top 2. Casey Carrington's taking tires. I like this move. So basically what you're seeing is the other leaders are going to go to lap 70 or whenever they do to get tires. So I think now what you have to do in this position is if you're Casey taking tires, which you don't have anybody to draft with here, this might hurt him a little bit actually, but with fresh tires might kind of balance it out, is he might go wide as long as he can. Go to, 8 laps to go or whatever, and then come to pit road where Alfin and Miles, you want to come to pit road as soon as possible to put the fresh tires on. So we'll see if that's the way it works out there as Carrington gets his truck up to speed. Nick Leo leading here. As Chris Lewis on pit road here, 19 laps to go. And since he's a little occupied right now, let's talk about Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, of course, of Marion, North Carolina. Got a great deal until October 31st, of course, while supplies last. Get, looks like a bonus cash allowance on the 2023 Dodge Charger GT and Challenger GT right there on their website. And not to mention, I've been informed by Lewis and them that they have a little bit of a surplus on cars at Marion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram right now. So if you're looking for a car deal right now, it might be the time to go check them out or check out their website like I'm looking right now at marioncdjr.com. Since this race has a little bit of a green flag look, I figured I'd go ahead and get the promotion in. Plus, people might listen to me, not Lewis. Just throwing it out there. Thanks, by the way, to Marion for being a part of the league and allowing me to talk about them each and every week and stuff. Ali, who's the boss man over there. Hope everything stays well there in Marion, North Carolina for you guys. All right, so off in a miles lead by 5.5 over Ethier and Mertez, and I'm watching Carrington's time slowly come down until he gets to about the end of the straightaway, and that's when the draft kind of comes in with speed. But then Carrington, look at him, gain 1, 2. I'm watching off the timing and scoring there to the left. Gains about 0.3 of a second through the corners. Unfortunately, though, just a tough spot there for the 4. He ran a 40.16 last time by. The leader's 40.72. He had a 50 this time in 04 and 07, 41s for the leader. We'll wait for Carrington, just crossed the line, 40.20, so he gained about 0.8 of a second on the fresher tires. He's going to get to Ether, and once he does, the draft actually might help him here. As a matter of fact, he's in the drafting territory now. You get to about 1.5, and you're within the window of drafting in these trucks. So he should be able to start feeling a little bit of a suck-up to those trucks. He needs to stay in line with Kyle. He's probably not lifted in 5 laps. You see Kyle sliding up. That's really going to help him in the draft. Don't check up. He'll be able to just slingshot here. A little shake and bake action. Unfortunately, Ethier just did a little shake off the corner, and here goes the bake. This time by, I want to see Carrington's lap. I bet you it's almost 2 seconds faster. 41.30, Alphin, 41.18, 40.03. Actually, I was off a little bit. 1.3 to the leader. The only problem Carrington's going to have here is that when these guys come back to pit road in the next 5 to 10 laps, basically, they're going to have the tires and he won't. As Vanoski comes to pit road, should be another lap or two before the window opens up to get to the finish of this race. So 12 laps to go. Ethier's on pit road. And as I predicted, or projected, I should say, leaders are going to come in right here as the window is now open to go the rest of the way on fuel. This is pretty much a counter move to Carrington taking tires. So 4 tires and fuel for all these trucks right here. And caution comes out for Ryan Whitaker. All right, this race really just went down the drain for the Ford truck. Oh, Melnick gets the outside wall and... And they go for a spin to bring out the caution. So caution out here at 9 laps to go. Is Carring? I don't think he has a third set of tires here. Yeah, it's just fuel pretty much for these guys. So, I mean, that was a worst case scenario for the Ford truck right there. And I'm going to mute my mic here for a quick second. All right, going to come back to green here with 7 laps to go. So, tough break for Casey Carrington, who's going to unfortunately lose a lot of positions here without the fresher tires. It was a risk worth taking, but unfortunately that caution bit him. And now it's going to leave Alfin, Miles, Mertes, Lewis, Dean, Leo, Ethier, Melnick, and Whitaker, who's got the damage now. Coming to the green. But something tells me there's a lot more now about to go, because cautions, as we know, breed cautions here. As here we go. Miles gets put 3 wide to the outside lane. Carrington's actually going to clear him along with the Dean machine there to the inside. As Mertes going to go to the lead. Leo trying to get up here and join this battle. English. 6 laps to go. Oh, Carrington got a little tight. Almost got an off in there. Had to check up a little bit. Lewis going to clear for third. Up, caution back out. And once again, Ryan Whitaker. I believe, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry, it's Rick Ward. My apologies to Ryan. So Rick Ward goes around turn 2. And caution out for the second time. And I think this is going to produce TI overtime, with Chris Lewis leading this race. And Brandon Alphin back on pit road. Did he not feel the tank up or something? So we'll be coming to green flag next time by. Green flag, then we'll get a white flag, and if we don't make it to the white flag, we'll do it all over again. Alphin going to restart back in 9th. After coming back to pit road, but Christopher Dean on the outside lane, Lewis inside the leader. And Mertes and Leo. And then it's Miles and Carrington. And Ethier, Stephen Melnick in 8th. Brandon Alphin, David Feit, 9th and 10th. Next week going to be a split week for the league as we have a Dover race that's been sponsored by Kyle Ethier. And then I believe the truck cars, the trucks are going to be at Phoenix, I think. I'll have to look at that. Restart for Lewis. Here we go. Drag racing down the back. Mertes going to go inside for the lead here. Lewis trying to protect the top side as Dean went for it. Thought about it. Goes in the middle. Goes down. Shuts the door on Miles. As Miles goes to the top side. And we get back to the final lap. Dean to the outside of Mertes with help from Lewis. Lewis going to go 3 wide inside with Mertes on a block. Is the boss man going to do it again? He sure is. Lewis wins again. What in the world? And they were what, 5 wide for second? That was about crazy. Yeah, pretty much 4 wide across. That's pretty tight. Well, yeah, Leo and Mertes about hit each other. And from here, it's everybody get what you can get. Let's take a look at the finishing order for the race here tonight. As Lewis wins it by 6/100, Silver Mertez, who finishes 8/100 back in third. Dean finishes second. Miles in fourth. Ethier and Leo pretty much neck and neck, fifth and sixth. Then Alphin and Stephen Melnick. Carrington, unfortunately, just no tires left, finishes ninth. Whitaker 10th. David Fight 11th. Dallas Childers 12th. Craig Martin 13th. Rick Ward 14th. Jake Vanoski 15th. Clement Downing and Steve Wolfram finish 16th and 17th in the race. And let's talk to these top three finishers. I'm actually going to do this quickly because I actually have been on the phone with my wife during the cautions. Apparently she's not feeling good right now. So let's fly through these interviews real quickly and get this done with. And that starts with our third place finisher, Zach Mertez. I'm gonna cut off his live video because, of course, we're live. But Zach, real quickly, third place finish for you. Good job, man.
I pushed Chris to the win, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, talk about the racing out there. Obviously, a lot of strategy in play.
Well, we had to do something different because Miles and Alphin were just absolutely hauling away from us, and nothing really that we could do to be able to contend with them. The draft was just insane, even with just the two trucks. So the caution came out as we were all on pit road. I decided to take 4 tires anyway, so it really benefited me. Miles, I think, took 4 tires as well. Alphin got bit there with the strategy because he was on 2 tires, but I mean, hey, he did an outstanding job being able to hang on to his race position, and you know, credit where credit's due. Chris Dean, Chris Lewis, amazing racing between the two of them, and yeah, just all around it was a great race.
Well, great job, man. Send a shout out whoever you like to.
Just send a shout out to iRacing and everybody involved with that group. We did a really good job putting these cars in a good position tonight. I know it was a little bit of a split team strategy tonight, but hey, we all did a good job. We all did our part, and yeah, I got to thank all the real world sponsors to make everything happen. And if you ever want to sponsor a real race car driver, you have nowhere else to look but Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can send me an email at murdersracing102@gmail.com.
Well, great job, man. Hate to cut you short, but I got something I got to go do. So congratulations on finishing third.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
How about you? Zach Mertez finishing in the third position tonight. Dean's not here, so let's just go get the winner here tonight. As Chris, congratulations, man. I kind of gonna good job. You did win again. Good job, and I'm sorry.
Let's go.
He's happy, and I'm trying to rush through this now because something's going on that I got to take care of. But great job tonight, man. Happy for you. Talk about the race real quick.
Last second move on the backstretch. Didn't think it would stick. It stuck. And we won our second race of the season, buddy.
Well,
we are on fire.
I know that was kind of exciting there. Did you feel like you had a shot there at the end?
No. Coming out of turn 2, I thought it was over. I saw it and I went for it. It's my only shot and it worked. I thought for sure somebody was going to take me high on the front stretch, but they didn't. But that Michigan Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram truck was flying tonight.
Well, great job, man. Send a shout out.
Thank you to you, Michigan Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Zach Mertez, Stephen Miles, and the whole gang. Couldn't do it without y'all. Without you, there is no us. And let's go. We won our second race, buddy.
There you go. Go celebrate with the team there, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
You too, buddy. As Lewis wins the race here tonight, and yeah, sorry, had to kind of cut things a little short here. Like I said, my wife, I just got a call. She's there. My family's still in Georgia. I'm in Indiana, and she's throwing up. So it's not good when you have a 4-year-old around the house by yourself. Anyways, so I'm going to jump off here and get on video with them, and trust me, everything will be okay. But just remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. You guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.